Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and also good night. Depend on your time and your location. This is one of your own, Real Biafra TV. I greet all the fellow Biafrans and all the genuine Biafrans, those that are going to come across this program this evening as we are about to start things that we have to do that will yield a good result and a good fruit in what we are doing. So, as I welcome you this evening, please endeavor to welcome another person by liking and sharing the program. Even though we are a little bit late because of how things it is for us for today. But what matters is that we are here this night to do a little things that we'll continue to do because of our declaration that are because of our new country that we love so much. This is why that anytime little time we had, we must be here to give you what we have in our documents and what we have in the movement that we are into, that we also please you. Despite that what we are doing here is hard for people to like it, but those who decide to like the program and also want to know when we are live, I greet you all and I thank you all for doing that, for always being on the look at us whenever we look at this platform, whenever we decided to come online. So I thank you, and we always come here to educate ourselves with a laid down laws, with a laid down principles, with a laid down treaties and international laws across the nation, or how other countries present themselves after the declaration, and they also have an international recognition. This is part and parcel of why we are here this night, to let you understand those things that are very important, that are very common, that people may think that we are not going to understand. But because of who we are, and also because of what we believe, that is why we are here this night, to do our own little thing as we can. So please, stay tuned with us as we continue to do the needful, as we are here to make that people understand why Biafra is the only hope for every black man in the world. Biafra is not only hope for the Biafran people, but Biafra is the only hope for every black man, all Africa entirely, the entire Africa. Biafra is their hope. With the coming of Biafra, Africa might disappear in the surface of this world, and they will be slaves forever to ever, from time indefinite to time immemorial. They are going to be what? A slave. But the coming of this country that the world had to talk about, the coming of this country that no one wants to hear or look at them, what they are passing through and what's happening to them, the coming of this Biafra will be a totally freedom for every black race in the world. That is one of the most important that you have to know, that in this movement that we are into, you must know that coming of Biafra is only thing will change the situation, the eyes looking, the inhuman treatment of every black race. Is only coming of Biafra will change that narrative. That is why the world is fighting against coming of this country so much. That is why the world is coming against coming of Biafra, because they know who we are. We are abiding people from the nature, from the origin of our life. We are abiding people who respect every law, who values human life, who believe in equal rights, equal justice, fairness. This is what the Biafran people believe on it. And that is why the world know that Biafra coming will expose all the lies, all the inhuman treatment, all the haters of truth, and all the true judgment of human rights who has been denied to the people. These are what the coming of Biafra will bring. That is why the world is against the truth. Let me use the coming of Christ to bring your mind very, very close to what I am talking about, or what I am telling us this night. Remember that coming of Jesus Christ, a man, a son of God, who come to set everybody free. The world rejected him with passion, kill him without looking back, suffer him, cajole him, call him all manner of names. Because of what? Because he has come to present the truth. He has come to set you free. But what happened? The world quickly reject him and throw him away. That is how this country that you and I are fighting to restore, to get our international recognition. This is how the country is. The true country that will change negativity, that will change the world's the mindset of the world to stand on the true side, to stop terrorism, to stop harvesting organ, to stop criminal, to stop 419, to stop a lot of corruption that is going on in the world, and the injustice, and all these kangaroo courts and kangaroo judge they are giving on a human being. The coming of Biafra is only thing I will stop it. That is why the world don't want it to come, because how do they know? They have made the experiment with you who live in their country. How you come with nothing and become somebody in their country, and how you have helped their government to establish and progress, how you pay your tax, how you pay your everything, and you live as a abiding citizen in that country that you reside. So through this way, they have checkmate you, and you know how you try to respect law. Talk less of when the law is in your own country. So they knew that you having a country will be a disadvantage of them to opening their nyash for everybody to see what they are hiding and what they refuse to bring on the timeline of the people to know the truth, and also for people to adhere to important things to do. My first person to do on this platform that comment is Abarosia Ngele Ekuru Ngele Moa. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for liking and also sharing the program. Thank you so much. You know how we do it? We don't have much time. We may only last for 1 hour, but I want you to like and share, because immediately you like and share the program, others may know that we are live, so they can come in to listen to what we have to say this night. It is very, very imperative if you can do so, so other people may know that we are live and we are direct. So I urge you to like, share, and also comment this evening. I also see Joseph. You are welcome. I see James Chigozie. You are welcome. Thank you so much for coming. Please, as you come, endeavor to like and share so others may come. Immediately we'll get our 10 likes. You know how we do it here. We will throw it out, what we have on things I want to get, how we want to educate ourselves. But if you may look at the headline that appears on your screen when you see the notice, we want to discuss about the chief of staff, how about the COS, and a general commander after a declaration of a new country between two of them, who gives order, who the world recognize his position as one to give order. You know, here we brought things for us to know who is doing right. If the government is not doing right, we tell them. If the way it comes is where we present it to you. That is why we put a voice that is not mine, a voice that they use to document the document. They used to put the documents. We play it. After that, we analyze it to our own common tongue. Because the way of their English and our own way is not the same. So I urge you, as you come this night, for you to like and share the program. There is something to learn. You know, here that we don't present Radio Ramma. There is those doing that kind of job, and they are doing perfectly. There is those handling everything, but depending on what you are Chugu Okabia must send you to come, and that is why I said there is no common sense that is a waste. All sense are important, and there is no job now that we have declared Biafra as a new country that any one of us who are doing on the side of the government are waste. All are inclusive, all are important, depending on what you are doing your exposition to. We want to expose those things that the world put in documents and hide, because they said if you want to cheat a black man, put something on written notes, put it on document, hide it from him. He will never go to research and bring it out. But the little ones we are doing, we are bringing out to you so you may understand the importance of those laws and why we are going to listen, why we are going to follow it up. These are part of the things that we all must understand. Nobody will do it for us. Nobody will handle it for us. We are the one to do that. Do not be tired coming online to see us or to listen. Please, it is very, very important. What we are doing this night is to let the so-called gentle Butozo and Jamaica, who always comes to social media to rant and make mockery of himself, to know that he should be careful, because ignorance is not an excuse in the eyes of the law. I don't know, that is why I was doing it. It's not an excuse. The law must hold you. When you go against the law, when you go contrary to the law is going to hold you very tight. We are only doing this for them to know, because no people, as one people, ndị banye sim, enyim agwaranga agwa, na achọkwana m ịgwa, they are not the same thing. It's better you know. It's better you know and listen. It's better for you to accept I don't know and render apology, or for you to continue claiming what you are not, because of your ulterior motive, because you think that the name of Biafra is only thing to use to make money in this life. That is one of the things that our people think it is in that way. I want you to know this night that what we are doing is very, very important, and it is very, very sacrosanct for us to do that. We are not going to look at anybody's face to do it, but we are looking at the face of international law, that when we have fulfilled all this, whatever happens is not, we are not the cost. The world are the cause of whatever that may happen. So that is why I want you to be here, to listen, to like, to share, and to comment. And that's why I thank those that have commenting in this platform. Chigo is always here. I want to say sometimes, today is my first time seeing Okole, Joseph. All are welcome. Thank you so much. We are here. Please, as you come also, if you never subscribe on the YouTube page, please help to subscribe on the YouTube page. Help to like, help to share, so others may know that we are live, we are direct. We are only waiting for 5 people to subscribe. before we can move on. But as we're waiting for them, let us go into to refresh your mind on things that happened on this platform yesterday that we will continuously reaching out, because it's a hunter to the enemies. What this platform is doing is hurting enemies so much. That is why we are not doing it because of them, but we are doing it because of we need to know. We need to educate ourselves that we must know things that we are doing at this time that we are into. This is why we are doing it, because so at this night, as we waiting for people to come, we need to refresh our mind on important things that are very rare that we need to know within ourselves. So as we are listening this night, it is very, very imperative as you come, you share the program so other people may know that we are live and we are direct. We want to start with the so-called video of the congressmen of Ogenkere. There is something that I want you to listen from there as I start this position this night, so you may understand propaganda. You may understand. Even some of them who are there don't know what is going on. That's why I said that ignorance is not an excuse in the eyes of the Lord. Sorry, my people, I'm coming. Let me put it up in a better way. So. What's happening? Sorry, my people. What is wrong, man? Yes, sir. My friend, please bear with me. Bear with me, please. Let me know what is the problem. Our phone refused to pick on the speaker. Oh God, what is the name of this night? Yeah. Watch this video. You might be seeing this video. Yeah, inside the US.
But I have my caviar for attack on them. America is still going life. Yes, so Biafra is here. Yes, so
yes. As you see this, as you can see this their shenanigans they are doing, you will think that is, if you look at this video very well, you will find out the lies, the propaganda on it that they are spreading, and with their little mind, they think they can deceive somebody like us. He went for to see a congressman. Is it Biafra is the congressman? How many congressmen that you see, how many white men you see here? Now they have gathered, and from where they start telling his fellow Biafrans, all we know already, and to where they end it. Do you see any white man who stood up to address them? Do you see any congressman who stand up to say, oh, we understand, we are addressing you based on your problem that you have brought to us, instead of Ogenkere and these monkeys that are entering inside a place they paid money for them to come in, becoming there of Biafra, and Ambo wetinye go na America go n'okwu Biafra. Is it how is it otu a ka esi etinye n'okwu Biafra? Without those you claim that you went to see to even utter a word or even tell you welcome. Is it your fellow Biafrans? Is your congressmen? Is it fellow Biafrans are the congressmen? Where are the white men? Where are the Americans? Where are the chambers of men? Who are these congressmen? Where are they? Why none of them is here that you stand? How many of them you see that was stand up and welcome them, said, welcome, what is your problem? Tell us. Instead of that, is those who believe in what he's doing, that he paid money, or even the money that others contributed, they share the money to them, and they are here to maintain their evil agenda of stopping Biafra to be coming. If you have been following this platform, you may understand what people are doing on international law. They are trying to put instability. They are trying to put instability in what we are doing. But do you know now, those who know what they are doing doesn't make mouths. They don't shout. They do something that shock the world. That is why the declaration of Biafra is a shock to bone marrow of entire world, both the enemies of Biafran people. Today, these individuals you see here have used their hand, made themselves the enemy of the Biafran people. That is one of the most important things that you must understand. That they use their hand to make themselves the enemy of the Biafran people. It's part and parcel out of what you supposed to understand as we are live this night. That is in Biafran time. This should be around 9 o'clock in Biafran time, or thereabout, or after 9. But we are live, despite being late. Here we are because of when what we are doing allow us to come online. So this evening we are going to go in for us to understand your government and what they are doing. I want you to know that what you see your government is doing is not a child's play. It's not like what they are doing. That's why I told you we must understand things that was meant for us to understand in this movement that we are into. We are not going to just keep quiet and fold our hand and allow the enemies to destroy the stubbornness of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the stubbornness of Mazi Simon Ekpa, the stubbornness of Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu. These are the things that you and I are here to make it to be well known under international law. Now we are going to refresh our mind before we go into the headline, as we are waiting for our people to come in more and more. Once we get our 10 like, then we go to the main topic. But listen as I'm playing this voice on this document. Biafra, between financial secretary of a new country and between chief of staff of a new country under international law, who is the higher authority under international law? Listen to this.
Under international law, there is no specific rule that establishes a clear hierarchy between a financial secretary and a chief of staff for a new country. The authority of each position is determined by the country's own domestic laws and constitution. International law is primarily concerned with a new state's effective government, which means having a stable, organized, and controlling authority. It doesn't dictate the internal structure of that government. However, we can analyze the typical roles to understand who would likely hold more authority in an international context. The financial secretary. The financial secretary is a senior public servant, often the highest-ranking civil servant in the Ministry of Finance. They are a technical advisor and administrator, responsible for the day-to-day management of the government's financial policies and the public budget. While an extremely important role domestically, their power is generally limited to financial matters, and they are subordinate to the political head of their ministry, e.g., the Minister of Finance, and the Cabinet. The Chief of Staff. The Chief of Staff is a political or military appointee, serving as a key aide and advisor to the head of state, the President or Prime Minister. This person's influence comes directly from their close relationship with the country's ultimate authority. The Chief of Staff is responsible for managing the leader's agenda, controlling access to them, and ensuring that all government departments, including finance, are working towards the head of state's goals. Conclusion. In most cases, the Chief of Staff has a higher degree of authority. While the Financial Secretary manages a vital part of the government, the economy, the Chief of Staff's role is broader and closer to the center of power. They often serve as a gatekeeper and a strategic coordinator, possessing a more direct line of authority from the head of government. They are the link between the president/prime minister and all other branches of government, including the financial and military sectors. Therefore, in the eyes of international observers, the chief of staff would likely be seen as a more influential figure.
I hope you heard how it was being concluded. The rule of the chief of staff are very higher than the rule of a financial secretary. Now that we're a new country, you may understand that whatever that plays out in what we are doing, that who is in that position, without even now that the prime minister is not there, it falls on the head of the Tongozi Arabeze as the chief of staff. The chief of staff is the one who has right to say, I don't want to be at head of the country. I want to appoint somebody else to be the leader while I maintain my position. The position of the COS, they call it the most higher ranking after a president of a country. He is second in command when it's come to the country, or when it's come to a new country, when it's come to old country. The chief of staff is second in command. The chief of staff of United States of Biafra, USBG, United States of Biafra government, are more important than any other position, and he is the second in command. If you have been following here some days ago, you may understand what the level where we have got into this platform. For this platform, you know, we don't run propaganda here. We don't tell lies. We are not doing analysis of our enemies, some Biafras who turn to become the enemies, but we focus on the international law and what they ask us to do. Today, we are playing this also from a Vienna Convention 1978, who give us a clear asset, a clear understanding of the position of the COS and what the COS stand for in a country. The COS is the road to the government, to the road to the president. Do you know, sometimes the position of COS is more important than the position of a vice president of old country, of a new or a new country. His position is highly understand under international law. Her position is the most crucial one under international law. A financial secretary does not have capacity to become a leader of a country. A financial secretary under international law can never become, if you followed yesterday or you go back to my program of yesterday, you will see that they said a financial secretary cannot make a decision, cannot be a leader when even the leader is not there. And they said when a leader of government in exile is not there, that the COS become automatically the leader, the second in command, who will take over to seek for international recognition, to seek for release of the leaders who was arrested. If you flowed yesterday, you may understand this. I see Easy Way, I see Ogon Naya, I see Cherry. You are good evening from here. You are welcome to our platform. Thank you so much. I see you. I greet you on those in the comment section. And that is why I want to refresh your mind, for you to know the level we have gone. When you throw back on our past previous program, then you may know what I am saying this night, that it is very, very important. Under international law, there is no specific rule dating the order of success for a new country. The highest of the state government in international matter, defined by its own constitution or founding legal documents. For us as a country, it is decided even on us, for Biafran to say that our COS is going to be a president of the country. It's depending on our law. And I also want to tell you something that you want to know from today, that the rule of the COS, that under international law, they said in conclusion, the most cases, the chief of staff has a higher degree of authority. Do you see what they use? That the COS have the higher degree of authority. That the work of the financial secretary is to manage the fund and seek for fund for the new country. The chief of staff is a role. The chief of staff role is bordered and close to the center of the point. The chief of staff power is centralized on the point of the country. They often serve as a goalkeeper, as gatekeeper. Do you know what it means that somebody is a gatekeeper? That before you enter into the building, you must pass through a gate. If you not pass through gate and enter into a building, you're a criminal. So that is why they said that her position are higher degree of authority. One person, that his position is higher degree on a position. On authority. Why am I telling you this? Because when you see those making mockery of themselves, you may understand what it's all about. Between chief of staff and a group commander, the chief of staff hold a higher authority. Listen to this.
Between a chief of staff and an army group commander, the chief of staff holds the higher authority. International law doesn't specifically address the internal military hierarchy of a newly independent country, as this is considered a matter of domestic sovereignty. However, the general principles of military organization and the criteria for statehood under international law indirectly support the chief of staff's superior position.
Do you hear that? That under international law and the principle that that international law of stakehold on international law identifies support indirectly support the chief of staff superior position under international law, that they support the chief of staff. When you further go more, or you further go into details, they told you that he is the one, when a leader was arrested, the one to seek for international recognition after a declaration of a new country. That she is the one to seek for international recognition, not a financial minister. He doesn't have any legal rights. When it's come to political, his position is not a political one. I want to understand this very clearly. The rule of the chief of staff. The chief of staff is a principal staff officer and the senior military advice to the commander-in-chief. She is the what? Commander-in-chief. Which is typically the head of the new state, e.g., president or prime minister. When they are not there, the chief of staff become the head to the leader to lead the new country government. The chief of staff is responsible for the overall strategy, director, commendation, and administration of armed group. Now, this one refers to the so-called gentle, bulldozer, makeup, and all of them who refuse to work with the new government of Biafra. That is the one is referring you to. Let me allow you to play fully. Let's start afresh now. The program begins. Between chief of staff and every army group who has a higher power after the creation of a new country independency under international law. Listen.
The role of the Chief of Staff. The Chief of Staff is a principal staff officer and the senior military advisor to the Commander-in-Chief, who is typically the head of the new state, e.g., a president or prime minister. Their power is derived from this direct relationship. The Chief of Staff is responsible for the overall strategic direction, coordination, and administration of all armed forces. They act as a central figure, ensuring that the political leadership's military goals are translated into actionable plans and policies.
Do you hear it? A chief of staff. A chief of staff. His rule and who he is. Despite prime minister or a president, he is the highest authority. No other person in the body of a government of a country who his authority could challenge him. And the father says that when the president or a prime minister is not there, that the chief of staff is the one that is responsible for overall of the power of everything that a new country is going to do. She is the one to give order. She is the one to say, do this, do not do this, let's go through that way. When he sits down with his cabinet member, have an agreement, or when even they disagree, he might, because of his veto power, because of his degree of authority, he can place order at any time. That is what gives him the authority under international law. I hope you are following. He's not a financial secretary. He's not any other person. If a chief of staff refuses to take that position, he is going to appoint somebody who is going to be leading, who is going to be him, he or her. Two of them are going to rubbing minds together and reaching orders. But chief of staff of a new country, of United States of Biafra, is the one I am telling you that she is second in command after Obatobie, after Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. Now that two of them are not here, she is the one to handle the affairs of the Biafran people under international law. Yesterday program, we also learned that a financial secretary cannot near the office. He doesn't have power to control or to give order or to decide or to lead the people of the new country or even the old state. What is the role of Army General, Army Group Commander? Listen.
The role of the Army Group Commander. An Army Group Commander, in contrast, is an operational commander. Their authority is limited to a specific geographic area or a
The authority is limited to a specific geographical area. Now, there is a places his power cannot be able to reach, like the authority of Dr. Ngozi Orebeze, and them want to be the one telling Dr. Ngozi Orebeze, telling the COS, the chief of staff of Biafran people, that we are the one who wears the shoe. We know where he pinches us. You must bow to us. You must take action for us. It's a pure lie. She is the one to give them order. She is the one to mandate them on what to do. She is the one that has every legal right to dish order, to tell the military commanders, do not do this, do not try this, go this way and this way. That is who the chief of staff is in every country, not even on our own country. When we continue, you may hear how a chief of staff of UK, his position, Britain. You may hear chief of staff of America. And you may also understand if a chief of staff must be a military man or a military woman. The answer is no. The answer is no. So when you see those who are gullible around making noise on social media, do not mind them. They are wallowing in the ignorance of the law, which is not an excuse in what they are doing because they refuse to learn. I hope you followed me. In contents is an operation commander. The authority is limited to a specific geographical area or major tactical operation. Listen.
Major tactical operation. An army group is a large-scale field unit, typically comprised of several armies, and the commander's primary focus is on the execution of military campaigns within their designated theater. They are subordinate to the overall command structure, which is headed by the Chief of Staff.
Who is the head of them? Chief of Staff. not Butozo and their makeup. Who is your head? Who gives you order? Who commands you on what to do? Is the chief of staff, the COS, Dr. Ngozi Orabueze, is the one who's supposed to be giving you order. Why? Listen.
International law and statehood. Under international law, the key criterion for a new state is having an effective government with control over a defined territory. This includes the ability to maintain law and order and defend its borders. The military is a crucial component of this, and the authority structure of that military is an internal matter. A new country's leadership must demonstrate a clear chain of command to be recognized as a viable state. The Chief of Staff's role in creating a unified, coherent military force is essential for this. They are the link between the new civilian government and the various military units, including army groups, ensuring a single, centralized authority. Without this, the military would appear fragmented, and the state would lack the quote-unquote effective government required for international recognition.
Do you hear that? International law and statehood. Under international law, the key creation for a new state is having an effective government, not effective military, not effective police, not effective whatever. Effective government with control over identifying territory. Now that we have identified 40 states of Biafra, is an evidence to the world that the government is in charge of the United States of Biafra entirely. Over the 40 states that made up of United States of Biafra. This includes the ability to maintain law and order and defend its border. The job is for the chief of staff to give the military gentle butos or order if they agree with the government to protect the border and the citizens. This is their job. The military is a crucial complement of this, and the authority structure of the military is an internal matter. A new country leadership must demonstrate a clean chain of command to be recognized as a valuable state. With what they are doing today, they don't want the national law to see the Biafra government as a valuable one. But with what the government is doing and how they are putting their statement and their action to prove how important and how they are valuable government under international law. They only want to make Biafra government to become unstable, that they cannot be able to the instability, that they cannot be able to control the territory of United States of Biafra. That is their aim. And what is the danger of that? They want the world to look us as we are not ready, we are not organized, that the country is for mouth, that they are not going to give us national recognition. That is their war. And why are they doing this? Because they don't want Biafra to be a nation. That is the only reason they are doing it, because they all are well-paid agents from Nigerian government, from Hope Post of them, from Southeast governors. That is those who pay Ogen Kires. That's those who pay, who sponsored Gento. That is those who sponsored Butozo. That is those who sponsored Njemeko. That is why they don't want a Biafra. They don't want us to have our own country. They want to continuously be inside bush, and people will be having pity on them. When a new country is declared, there will be no pity on the military side, because it is one of the most important things that yield the result, that to protect the border and protect the citizens and their property. Rather, they are the one kidnapping them and damaging them today. Is it what they are there to do? The answer is no. They are the link between the new civilian government and the various military unity, including an army group, ensuring a single centralized authority, for a new country to march on. The power will not be one place. You had it here today. That is why government did what is called centralization of the military for every command to be in action without waiting for one place like Nigeria government to every order will come from Abuja before then things have spoiled. That is why we are not building another Nigeria in Biafra. We are not building another Nigeria in Biafra land. Rather, we are building a Biafra on itself that can maintain the international law and who can work like a country like America. That is the kind of country we are building. We are not building another Nigeria. We are not building another Nigeria. I want you to listen to the importance of the COS after declaration of a new country.
The Chief of Staff plays a crucial role in a new country's stability and international standing, particularly in a military context. While international law doesn't mandate the existence or specific duties of a Chief of Staff, the presence of such a position demonstrates a new state's effective government and centralized control, which are key criteria for recognition as a sovereign state.
Do you hear this? Do you hear the work of the COS? That what the position can do to us? The Chief of Staff played a critical role in a new country stability and international standing. A COS, not any other person. Particularly in a military context, why international law does not mandate the existence of the specific duty of a Chief of Staff. Listen, the presence of the such position dominates a new state's effective government. A new country that have a workable COS, he said, is demonstrated a new state effective government and the centralized control, which is a key criteria for recognition as a sovereign state. The position of our COS, now Biafra has been re-declared under international law. They are telling you what she has to do and what the position, the attention of that position to the international community, to other countries who want to go to recognition. The way she spoke, the way she take action, the way she's managing all this internal conflict, both on social media, in the military, in the homeland, and everything otherwise, prove that she understands the importance of her position on international law. It's not by making mouth. It's not by going to going to that house. It's not. We are not going to be Nigeria who goes to Satan's house to decide who will be a president of Nigeria. That is why Nigeria is not a country. So we are not building the same thing. We are building a nation that has its own right by its own self to stay in their land, to decide what they want. The role of the Chief of Staff in a new nation. Listen.
The role of the Chief of Staff in a new nation. A Chief of Staff, particularly a Chief of Defense Staff, is the senior military leader and the principal military advisor to the head of state and government. This role is important for a new country because it...
Let's hold it there. A Chief of Staff, particularly a Chief of Defense Staff, is the senior military leader and the principal military advisor to the head of the state and the government. Who is the head of the state? If Obato Obie is here with us as a prime minister, to advise him. That is why two of them rub their mind together before Obato Obie will do anything. You don't know that, because what you don't know is bigger than you. For you to understand the level of COS and the importance of COS in what we are doing, that his level is more important, that is a crucial one, that is his level passes the level of a triple general that will never fought a war and he answering a triple general. I hope you are now getting the value of your COS. They said that a new country who has a COS draw attention of the world, or draw attention of those that are going to give us recognition. So on the note of drawing the attention, she must be well present herself as somebody who can control the country, who understand the impact of her position as the world are looking towards it. That is, if they ask you today, if our COS is acting like somebody who understands her position and the world is looking for her hand, what is your answer? For me, my answer is yes. What of you? What is your answer? For me, my answer is yes. I want to see what is your answer in the comment section. That she is maintaining that thing that international law said. That is why her position is so important for a new country. This rule is very important for a new country because it is what? Establishing a clear chain of command. I'm waiting for your answer in the comment section. Dr. Ngozi Orabeze, our chief of staff, the DPM, in your own eyes, in your own understanding, do you think that what we are reading here, that she is maintaining that standard and she understands her position? What is your answer? I want to see on the comment section. And also I want to know those who are still here. Have you come run away? Because we're not talking about Saturday or Ram, you may decide to run away. Or because we're not talking about those that will make you laugh. But when we're talking about a thing that we have to know, people don't like such a place. But it's okay for those who always look out on this platform to encourage me by putting your comments down. I ask a question. How do you see COS or under this document that we are reading on international law? How do you see her? Do you see her as someone who understands her position, who understands the impact of the office she's holding, and who is acting to under international law? What is your own answer? Because my own is yes. What do you think? I want to know in the comment section. Can you? Please, if you can. We must continue.
Establishes a clear chain of command. The Chief of Staff is the crucial link between the civilian government and the armed forces. This ensures that the military is subordinate to political authority, which is a fundamental aspect of a modern, democratic state. Without this clear hierarchy, different armed groups could operate independently, leading to internal conflict and instability, which would jeopardize the country's claim to sovereignty.
Do you hear this? Are you with me? Nobody's answering my question. That means maybe people are tired, so I think we may close if we are tired. Establishing a clear chain of command. The chief of staff is the important link between the civilians, government, and the armed forces. This ensures that the military is insubordinate to a political authority, which is a fundamental aspect of modus operandi on a document of a state of declaration. Without this clear hiring, without this clear, a high different armed group could operate independently. That is what Butozo wants, to be doing as he like. That is what Gento want. They told that if not for the office of the COS, that they want to be on their own independence and be doing whatever they like, they will be doing what they like. But the office of the COS prevent them because they must take here. They said they have to take instruction from the office of the COS, who have the highest authority, more than a military general commander. Nobody's commenting. I don't know why. My people, are we still here? Are we still here? It's very late where it's very, very late where I am, but I have to do this to keep your mind updated on things you are hearing in social media, so you can be able to defend yourself. Why nobody's here? Why, my people? Why nobody's answering? Why nobody's commenting? But in all, A group could operate independently without the office of COS, who is in charge of all the military who are under the sovereignty of the country, with COS giving order and control all the military. The use of that position is very, very important. My father will say something is very sacrosanct. The office is what? Very, very sacrosanct. So it's not an office we use and play. It's not an office that when you look at it, you will be talking mad of nonsense from your mouth. That is why Obato, who is intelligent and educated, know the value of that position, and he put her there. And after she presented herself as someone who has the quality that Mazda Kano inside my Simon, and it does him. Obato, they see a quality he wants into Kongozo Rabeze. That is why she is the COS. That is why she is the surrogate. That is why they told her to protect the mandate. And you are there. They didn't tell you to do anyone. That is why also they choose her to be among 4 cabinet members who are going to select those that are going to be work for United States of Biafra after declaration in the name of United States of Biafra government. That is why. So when you look at all this, are you still doubting your government? What is coming to your mind after you have looked at all this? Oh, Jesus Christ. I don't even know that my people are on the comment section here. Seriously. Jesus. What happened? I see Power Man. I see JC. Thank you so much. Official AJ, sorry, my people. I don't know how my comment section was down. I'm not even seeing anything that is coming. I said, let me just refresh it a little bit. As I refresh, all the message pumps in to this platform. Yes, from our official AJ, you understand our code. Hashtag free Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, a prisoner of conscience in Nigeria. Hashtag free Simon Ekpanjoko, a prisoner of conscience in Finland. This is our code. Now let us greet everyone in the comment section. Official AJ greets you. Oh, Asatina, good evening from here. I don't even know that you are here, honestly. Don't even know. Thank you so much. Yes, you answered the question that I'm asking. Absolutely, yes, is the answer. GPM understand her rule as the one in charge, of the freedom of who? Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, Mas Simon Ekpa. Yes, Ogonaya said yes, so she is. Sir, I don't understand what you're saying. She and her cabinet are doing a great in the diplomatic way. That is the truth. You are right. Ogonaya said, yes, hashtag free man Simon Ekpanjoko. Finland government. He is a political prisoner also. A political prisoner of conscience. He's also a prime minister of over 100 million people. Go and verify. You'll find out. Go and verify, they will find out on your own. Yes, keep your comments coming. Thank you so much, my people. Thank you so much. Then, let us continue.
Ensures unified military strategy. A new country often faces significant security challenges, both internal and external. The Chief of Staff is responsible for developing and implementing a unified military strategy, ensuring all branches of the armed forces, Army, Navy, Air Force, work together cohesively to protect the country's borders and interests. This is critical for demonstrating the state's ability to maintain order and defend itself, a core requirement of statehood under international law.
Do you hear it? Ensuring unified military strategies. A new country often facing a significant security challenge, both internal and external. The Chief of Staff responsibility for developing and manipulating a unified military strategy, ensuring all branches of the armed forces, Army, Navy, Air Force, work together. Who to do that? The Chief of Staff. She is in charge of me, you, and the so-called, the stupid military who call themselves Butozo, and the gentle, the Yahoo, and the makeup, and the Owam. Those who are under them today refuse to obey the order of international community, the order of international law, who told us today that her position supersedes every military position, that she's in charge of everything that the Biafran people are doing. Now that we're a new country, who is in charge? The COS, the army. Look at this here. They said it this way, that is including army, navy, air force, every military, every security apparatus are under our DPN, Dr. Ngozi Orabueze. It's not about being a woman. For those who are deviating, it's not about her. It's about that those people never want Biafra to be a nation because they are all well-paid agents from Nigeria, like the way Russia was paying the Red Finland people who refused their own declaration that they are enjoying today in their country. The same scenario is what we are passing through today. The same thing is what we are passing through today. Under international law, a full support to the chief of staff as the second in command in a new country that was officially declared. In the criteria of requirement of the said international law, with the presence of COS, we are going to get international law because she is the person the world are looking up to what she is doing. Forget the shenanigans of those going to Washington DC, seeing congressmen. He has no, you can have it here, that he doesn't have the right. A financial secretary does not have the right to lead, to make a suggestion, to command or to become a leader of the new country. He doesn't international law. They said his position is not even political. But the office of the chief of staff is a political one. The office of COS is a political, but his own is not a political one. That is the thing that we must understand. And it is very, very important that as we are following, that you are keeping something down. So whenever you jam them, then you can debunk their lies and put them to the mud where they belong. So there we know that you understand, that you are no longer confused like those who are confused into what we are doing. Let us continue, because it's very important for us to continue what we're doing. Do not panic. Do not panic, because it's your right.
Facilitates international relations. The Chief of Staff serves as the primary point of contact for foreign militaries and international organizations.
Do you hear this? The Chief of Staff serves as a primary point of contact for foreign ministries and international recognition or international organizations, yes. The Chief of Staff serves as the primary point of contact of foreign ministers and international organizations. Not secretary, not office of a secretary. Not office of a financial secretary, Chief of Staff. Let's continue.
This professional, unified point of contact makes it easier for other nations to engage with the new country on security matters, such as joint training, military aid, and peacekeeping operations. This helps the new country build alliances and gain international recognition and legitimacy.
Whose office is that? The office of COS. Look at the high rank. They said is a higher degree authority in the beginning. A higher degree authority, more than any other. That she is the second in command after president or a prime minister. That is one of the most things that you must understand. This professional uniform point of contact make it easy for other nations to engage with the new country on security matters. I can see you, I can see you, Ejikeme. Thank you so much for coming in. This professional unified point of a contact makes easy for other nations to engage with the new country on security matters. Now that is piloting the affair for Biafran people, and they said here also that she is the one to push for international recognition with her good position, important position, authority position. That is why she told that you must bow, and you are calling her madam. You must bow. It's what international law put her there, not you, not I. Under international law, this is her right. This is her position. Hope you are following. Listen, matters such as a joint training military aid and the peacekeeping operation, this helped the new country build alliance and gain international recognition and legitimacy. Her position. Now that you understand her position, do you see that that is why she told you that if you go and sleep, that you will be sleeping and Biafra will get international recognition. Look at the position of a COS in a new country. And someone is messing it up. You are not messing the position up because the world understands after a declaration of a new country. Now that you have known the power of the COS, we're supposed to give her round of applause in our comment section. Give our COS who understand her position, not just being in position, but she is making the use of the position in the most important areas with her authority, not to mess it up. Now that she's not messing it up, what stops you from giving her a round of applause in our comment section? That when she comes across our platform, she will know that we understand her and we give her a round of applause. We give her kudos for what she's doing. She is very valuable in her position and what she is doing. So, do not follow those who are making mockery of themselves on social media. I can see you. Thank you so much. I can see you. Thank you so much. After the next article we are going to open our line for phone calls so any other person can call. Listen, I am bringing it out the way it is. That is why I don't paint the word on it. Between financial secretary of a new country and between the chief of staff of a new country under international law, which is the higher authority under international law? I hope you have understand that our DPM has the highest authority. Ogenkere is not even attached. The secretary position is not attached on the ruling leader in a new country when their leader was arrested before their independence. Yes, up you, our able DPM. Thank you so much for that question, for that answer. Ijele, thank you. He's telling the other people, please, to click your like button. Like the program. Like. If it's your first time of coming, you will see me on your own phone in between the wall. I am at the center. You will see a 3 dots in front. Click on that 3 dot. Look at the front of your phone. You will see a 3 dot on the right hand side of your phone. Just click there. As you click there, you will see like and share. Do that, please. And I want this opportunity to ask you, please, for this platform, I am reading this and you see it on phone. I want to put it on a laptop. I need a support of laptop, my people. I need your support to support this platform. You can do it through a super chat. If you look down, you will see a super chat. You can give anything you want. If you don't want to give it out like that, when I call a number that we are going to call on this program, then you can do that way. You can also support by calling me. Then anything you can do. The only thing I know is I need an Apple laptop that can last on what we are doing. So when we come, we will put this program on the screen. All of us will be reading. When we have someone like Asatina, we will share our screen with her. She will also be the one reading and we will be explaining. So the world will know that we have that thing they are hiding from us, that we have finally get it, and we are the one now letting them know that we have got it. Thank you so much, Joseph, for your clapping for our DPM. Thank you so much. She is a special woman in the midst of what we are doing. Listen to this.
Under international law, there is no specific rule that establishes a clear hierarchy between a financial secretary and a chief of staff for a new country. The authority of each position is determined by the country's own domestic laws and constitution. International law is primarily concerned with a new state's effective government, which means having a stable, organized, and controlling authority. It doesn't dictate the internal structure of that government. However, we can analyze the typical roles to understand who would likely hold more authority in an international context. The Financial Secretary. The Financial Secretary is a senior public servant, often the highest-ranking civil servant in the Ministry of Finance. They are a technical advisor and administrator, responsible for the day-to-day management of the government's financial policies and the public budget. While an extremely important role domestically, their power is generally limited to financial matters, and they are subordinate to the political head of their ministry, e.g., the Minister of Finance, and the Cabinet. The Chief of Staff. The Chief of Staff is a political or military appointee, serving as a key aide and advisor to the head of state, the President or Prime Minister. This person's influence comes directly from their close relationship with the country's ultimate authority. The Chief of Staff is responsible for managing the leader's agenda, controlling access to them, and ensuring that all government departments, including finance, are working towards the head of state's goals.
Including, she is the head of finance. That's what Batobia told you, that when Batobia is here, that you can only contact the government through the office of the COS. And I hope you are getting it clearly. Because I am doing this for you to know your rights and for you to know the importance of the COS. Like what I am looking for a video of is it Shomo Okoma describing the position of the COS. I want to make that use of that video on Saturday. Whoever have that video, please, I want it. Where these four back gang are describing the position of COS. Now, have this in mind to compare to when we are going to play that their shenanigan. It's not about our common sense, because the world hided everything from us and we are moving blindly, and what we are looking for is very close. So it's not of just to take our time, but I tell us today we can be able to lay our hand on all this for us to use to defend ourselves in anybody who is making mockery of himself, not Dr. Ngozi Arabeze, either the government of United States of Biafra. So you can be able to tell them, they can be able to understand you, that you know what it is. I never see on a country where a financial secretary becomes a leader. I never see in my entire life. Have you ever seen before? If you have ever seen, please let me know. But for me, because me, I never see. I never come across such a thing in my entire life. It's only in Nigeria that a chairman of a bank or a leader who is in charge of a bank will become a leader. And in Nigeria, we are not building that at all. So, in most cases, The chief of staff has a higher degree of authority to control a new government when a leader, a prime minister, or a president of the country is not available, is not around. The COS become a branch of the government and also the eye. Therefore, in the eye of international observers, the chief of staff would likely be seen as a more effective figure. The chief of staff is more effective figure more than any other person. Yesterday, if you followed, under the Vienna Convention 1978, he told us that he is the second in command. After that, all these are the things, how they come across COS and why they put her in that position. Without COS, you won't see a government. But COS, you will see. Now they said when the leader was arrested before a declaration of a country, that the COS is happened to be in charge, that he is a higher, a degree of authority. She is the highest person, no other person. And she has the right that if she don't want that position to lead, that she can appoint somebody in there, and she will be the one to supervising everything that is happening. This is who she is. So on this junction, we are opening our line in case if anybody want to call now before we go into the last thing about our program this night. So please, the number to call is +9 7 3 +9 7 3 60 51 337 +9 7 3 60 51 337. That is our number to call if you want to call on this platform to submit your own humble suggestion or what you understand in what we are doing this night. That is the number to call. Feel free to call. Feel free to call. It's very, very important for you to feel free to call, because Biafran people must understand everything that we are doing. That's why we are doing that. In all round qualification, even though that the military, even though that the COS, that they come through Q, for remove the old government, put a new government, she is the one. Even though they come through a protest, she is the one. Anywhere you play it go, they say she is the one. It's only on these criminals, these fools who collected money are only the one who that position is not important in where they are, and they are open their stinking mouth and be knowing the truth because of money. They refuse to do what? They refuse to say the truth with their mouth. But today, we are here to bring you the truth that you must know into what we are doing. She is only after a new country declared of independence, the chief of staff rule under the national law is primary to conduct control at the de facto government. Even if we are in the de facto government, even if we are still under 6 months before our declaration, before there will be a problem, she is the one that is in charge. No other person is ahead of her. No other person. And her job is also to do what? To protect the citizens and also work to release the leaders who was arrested and who was kidnapped, like Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. These are the important things that we need to know on our own. So do not be panic that he is the head of all commanders in every country, not even on your force. Between chief of staff and the military general commander of a new country, who gives order? That is the next article that we are going to go before we close this night. That is the next article. But there is more one I am looking for, where I put inside my documents. Yes, sorry. We have to play this. For those who say now, why you need to go order your money? No one help on my mekwa. Let me open this document. I want us to go into this before another thing. Even if we achieve only this before we go inside. I want you to know the next headline is it more the chief of staff must be a military person? Is it must the chief of staff of a new country must be a military personnel? I will allow this one to play the way we normally do it. Then after the play, we now come back to explain. And remember, please hold your call for now until this. Please. It's very important. Because I want you to go to the everybody's understanding.
No, a chief of staff does not have to be a military person. The title has both a military and a civilian meaning, and the role is distinct in each context. Civilian chief of staff. In a civilian government or private organization, the chief of staff is a high-level strategic advisor to a leader, such as a president, governor, or CEO. This role is a modern invention, with its roots in military practice, but it's now a common part of government and corporate structures. Their job is to act as a gatekeeper, managing the leader's schedule and priorities, and to serve as a confidant and problem solver. A civilian chief of staff is a political appointee and does not have to have any military background. For example, the White House chief of staff in the US is almost always a civilian. Military chief of staff. In a military context, the title, chief of staff, refers to a senior military officer who acts as the leader of a specific branch of the armed forces or as an advisor to the head of state. For instance, the chief of staff of the US Army is the most senior uniformed officer in that branch. In some countries, like the United Kingdom, the chief of the defense staff is the professional head of the entire armed forces. In a military context, the person holding this position is, by definition, a military person. In the context of a new country that has just declared independence, the chief of staff who took power and made the declaration is almost certainly a military person. This is because they've seized control of the government through a military action, and their authority stems directly from their command of the armed forces. In such a scenario, the chief of staff acts as both the new head of state and the commander-in-chief, holding both civilian and military authority.
I hope you are with me. I hope you get it right. Now, this goes to the Soul Angel Makeup. This goes to Angel Makeup, who will come in social and tell you, breaking news. This news is coming from the office of Gentle Dija, or office of General Butoso. Where? Must a chief of staff of a country, whether old or new, is a military person? Or again, no. Let's continue listening. Let's play again and explain.
No, a chief of staff does not have to be a military person. The title has both a military and a civilian meaning, and the role is distinct in each context.
I hope you had it. Or saying no. A chief of staff does not have to be a military person. The title has both a military and a civilian meaning. No one in mean both n'ebe anyị nwa abụghọ ndị amị nọ n'ebe bụ ndị amị nọ na enwere ihe o mean. And now we're gonna this position is very, very sacrosanct, is very, very more than important in a new country. Let's continue.
Civilian Chief of Staff. In a civilian government or private organization, the Chief of Staff is a high-level strategic advisor to a leader, such as a...
In a civilian government or private organization, Chief of Staff is a high-level strategic advisor to a leader, such as a president, governor, or CEO. For you to understand the importance of the office of the COS, even she is a decision maker. She is one of the decision maker in a government. A person who is his advice must be needed in everything that they will do in a country or in an organization. That is how to know what you have, what you are, because now the side na asina no ni ro pala for your attack. Chiomo koma dem. Oge nkerie Ashibon Chiamaka Jere Adandosho. They don't know what it is under international law, because that is why they are not included in the body of the government of United States of Biafra. Rather, they turn overnight become Sabo, because they are no longer holding position, because they come to use position to claim to you and I that they are relevant, why they are not, that they are fighting for freedom, why they are not fighting for freedom. They are only looking for money to reach themselves and stop Biafra from coming, because they know that it will end their impunity and the 419 they are running on the Biafran people. Let's continue.
The president, governor, or CEO. This role is a modern invention with its roots in military practice, but it's now a common part of government and corporate structures. Their job is to act as a gatekeeper, managing the leader's schedule and priorities, and to serve as a confidant and problem solver. A civilian chief of staff is a political appointee and does not have to have any military background.
Do you hear it? Why not officer of secretary is not a political appointee? Remember, from where we start, I am bringing everything about COS for you to know how important this position is, for you to understand the most important position of the COS in our movement, why she happened to be the one who is in charge right now. There is something happening in Finland. When in the first time they went with Obatobie bring her clothes, open laptop only between and pointing her for something. In that place they said a picture speak volume more than a word. That is what that thing that shows you there. Look at this thing. Who else did he show that thing except the COS? Because Obatobie know the part of COS. That is why he openly in this modifying word to say this is the COS, not DOS. The one that the world recognized and the one that the world is making use of it. Because we are in the new era of Biafra. So everything that we are going to do must be under the era of the new world, not in the old ones. A civilian COS, a civilian chief of staff, is a political appointment and does not have to have a military background. For Umokoko, na-ebugharị egbe n'ụlọ, na-ekwugheri n'ọma ahịa n'okporo ụzọ. I hope you are following. For example, the White House chief of staff in the US is almost always a civilian. A chief of staff in US, a whole year, hey, America will be a zeno, like Kino. Even in the United Kingdom, they are all bloodly civilians. They are in charge. They said their uniform is the highest uniform in these countries that all of us are respecting today. That is the one. Ụmụ mbansi, ụmụ iti mpataka, ụmụ isi arịrị pere mpe ga-enwe ihe dị ya. Ụmụ ihe ga-eme wọzụka obere ihe abụrụ imbecile n'isi ga-eji wee pụta na-emeke mockery of the government. That is why we are here to tell the world that what they are saying is not moving us, that we understand what the office mean, and we are not playing with that office at all. We are giving her accolades. We are clapping for her. We Biafran people love her so much and what she is doing for us, because she is respecting her position very well. As I said, well done, Obatobie. Our PM actually has the roadmap well defined before now. Yes, so we are in the new era. Obatobie arrange everything according to the new era that we are on it. That's what she did. Look at it here. The White House Chief of Staff in the US is almost always a civilian person. Why do you think that our own will be different? And Jamaica. That is why I try to research this area. If you see the headache that this thing I'm reading now give me, you won't believe it. You won't believe, because to find these things under this international law, the way they are hiding it, if you mistakenly miss one word, they will give you another different thing until you think and write the exact word before they will give it to you. As I told you, if you see the headache I have, like be able to get this, you have to be able to rethink and be using for a word for me to get it right. Because I know that the US Chief of Staff is a civilian person, not a military man. And who is the Chief of Staff of US, who is not a military man? He is the one giving all the military of America, both anything that is security aspect or security apparatus in America. The person that is the COS. He's in charge. He's the one dishing order and telling them what not to do. Even that he's not a military person. We are here to debunk their lies and their propagandas. And I think that we are making common sense, my people. I think that we are trying to educate ourselves more for us to know the truth within ourselves. You have heard it today that a military chief of staff of America, their chief of staff is a civilian person, not a military person. That is almost a civilian, like a habu undermost, so almost not a civilian person. When we go, bro, you're not going to born. What it takes, that uniform, all the army commanders, all the police, all the navy, all the air force, all the combat military. Imagine, Fabia Sanu to Ozubo, without wasting time. But because of that stupidity in some of our brothers who are like the real Finland people that collects money, don't want a new nation. They think that we are going to accept that shenanigan. We are not going to accept the shenanigan at all, because we understand the impact of declaration and impact of we being a Biafra, because our recognition under international law for Biafra to be a free nation in this world, that is how every black race become a free person. Biafra is like Jesus Christ when he comes to this world. That's how Biafra it is. That is why I can do that. This is the last miracle. Because the last miracle will free every black race. Will free both a white man who they are intimidating his own country. Verify, go and check. Because in a country where you are, they know you very well. They see you as somebody who obeys the law, who understands the of the law, who pay their tax, you pay your house rent, you do everything in time, you don't want... So they know that when you leave, because you have even known more than them, that you are going to be the best among them. They are jealous of us. That is why they don't want us to go. That is why. Who said that? My WhatsApp number is going plus 973360513337. It must go. Why is it not? Why? Who says that? It must go. Try it again. The number must go. Because that is the phone I'm using to read this document. Let's continue as we're waiting for our calls.
For example, the White House Chief of Staff in the US is almost always a civilian. Military Chief of Staff. In a military context, the title Chief of Staff refers to a senior military officer who acts as the leader of a specific branch of the armed forces or as an advisor to the head of state. For instance, the Chief of Staff of the US Army is the most senior uniformed officer in that branch. In some countries, like the United Kingdom, the Chief of the Defense Staff is the professional head of the entire armed forces. In a military context, the person holding this position is, by definition, a military person. In the context of a new country that has just declared independence, the Chief of Staff who took power and made the declaration is almost certainly a military person. This is because they've seized control of the government through a military action, and their authority stems directly from their command of the armed forces. In such a scenario, the Chief of Staff acts as both the new head of state and the commander-in-chief, holding both civilian and military authority.
I hope you listen to this. I will check my missed call and return some calls because, sorry, I don't know, my phone was on silent that when I went to work. So I just remove it right now. So let me go in to check those I missed their call. Then I'll return the call. And as I return the call, we are going to explain this particular part. In the contents of a new country that have just declared their independence. Hey, God. Chief of Staff who took power and made a declaration almost almost automatically become a ministry personnel under international law. Let's check our course. Yeah, so we have a missed call. Oh, seriously. Sorry, we are going to return the call right now.
Hello, Gino.
Good evening, Jella Wine. Good evening from here, Satina.
Good evening, brother.
Sorry, my phone was on the side because once you go to work, you put it on silent. So I did not even say I come back. That's why I don't know if the phone is even ringing.
Yeah, I thought as much because you saw I rang there, I think twice or so.
Yes, 2 times.
So yeah.
And I put my phone.
That was the time. That was the time you were saying no comment. Nobody is commenting. Actually, people were commenting. No. Wow. It's like there is attack on your page.
This page is but they cannot because the YouTube has been verified and make it official, so nobody can attack it anymore. They can't do anything. The YouTube,
yeah, but
the YouTube was verified today.
Loads and loads of comments were coming up. That time you asked COM or COS, what the COS is doing. Is it what the COS is supposed to be doing? A lot of people were typing yes. But you were not seeing any of them.
I'm telling you. I just refreshed and started seeing all the message. I said what?
Exactly, I wanted to call in that time and suggested that you refresh.
In fact, I don't know what caused my mind. I said, let me refresh because there is line I saw. There is something when you saw the page on that attack. So when I saw it, if what happened this night, if not that this issue has been verified, they would have knocked it out again.
I see.
But I think school carry on that we are ahead of them this time around. They cannot do anything. They can't do anything.
Nothing again. Nothing will make us quit. We can never go back. Ahead. We march. No matter all the obstacles. We have even passed even though the most difficult one may still be in the front, but I think we have passed so many obstacles that at this time now, anybody that will fall out because of maybe something you met on the way. One day, I don't know what to call you, just like some people who are resigning because of one thing or the other. I pity you. I pity you. Okay, Baraba. Imagine. Just look back and check the miles already. Check the mile of Ozirikiruzebi. You are quitting. Aren't you a foolish person? That is, by the way, because I turn out to back to Ihaina Ikumakia today.
Yeah.
Honestly, Chino, thank you so much for this topic today.
Yeah.
I'm having my voice on the shake today. I don't know.
Mba, your voice is stable. It's very okay.
Okay, the echo is coming back to me, but that's okay. So, Biafrans, good evening or good night from my own side here. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on your zone time. Mazi Chinon, they were in the watching again. He may make agreeable, but it's just that I don't know or what time factor with the problem or what. A lot of people are not coming in to watch and to listen to this important information. To tell you the truth, ignorance.
That is the main thing.
Look at all these things. No, here. I got anything to talk with all these breaking for back people. Initial time I have been doing. You know?
Yeah. Honestly.
It's only one that Sonia Barawa don't know all of these things. It's only one that those professors, doctors.
See, do you know one thing? I say that now somebody will make in her nature, in her research, I did and go on research. And anyway, do you know that game now search this program okay name here today? Now I think that maybe here what I mean about this program name now, all I mean before what here today.
Yeah, it's true. Depending on the thing it's in a search engine, or you're gonna
search here or budget member, a search here, where is them people I leave I have my agenda for 2 hours. Got to share my break, which is the answer. When people say exact word, need was when they were here, assembly of him not share and the any go fuka and in line or 2 hours where open from article 1. I gave you article 3 or 4, go do any have is you. I think what is our problem? But now about to time. Because it's only him. Him and now method. And we method in what is at hand. Only I believe in him with our common sense knows well. And I ask yes, now this is the right way to do it. But when you go extra mind, if you say that your common sense, yes, not the good. Man, all both here be
more to eat.
More to.
More to eat. In now, ignorance was the biggest problem in this our
movement.
Freedom fight. Yes. Because now there is nothing to fight about. Had it been that this thing that's the background very, very well. But who will you blame? Who are we to blame? Nobody. Exactly. Nobody. We can't blame anybody.
We have to blame ourselves. We have to blame ourselves. Sometimes I blame myself. I'm asking myself, why am I not on social media in time? I said maybe if you're on social media, now correct now when you go 247 now call. Or when you social media.
No. You remember how this started? This is not more guys again. You see, when that more have not directed you, you won't go this direction. How come you waited that revelation?
I'm telling you. I'm almost here. Organic. With all this I know now about COS, about lawyer one bonus in the aga. I don't want to say that I'm American the mother now by to do. No only bonus in the aga. Where can you say? Must a chief of staff of a country, whether new or old, must he be a military personnel?
Yeah, that's the part. That's exactly the part I want to touch now. That's the part I want to talk about because all these people that they will not take instruction from a woman that again that is not a military person. Now you had it here. It shouldn't be the person should not come from a military background before the person always COS.
Chief of staff.
Chief of staff. If we go,
You remembered what you remembered what Chioma Okoma described as chief of staff as?
Ma, also Chioma Okoma, okay, Chioma Okoma, because that one was na Chikowara with professor.
Yes.
My dear brother, the thing Ogwogike.
Honestly, it got a humble lion to provide that video on Saturday. Because when we play that video from Humble Lion, then we are going to use this to debunk it, to put it, because all of them are listening to Humble Lion.
Abi?
Yes. All of them are listening to Humble Lion. Page of ma. So we need that video
People
on Saturday.
People the wicked. People the very, very wicked. People the very, very wicked. Having known all of these things, they still want to twist it, telling people what they want them to hear, not what they suppose, what they need.
Yes, so
to know about this. But then, like I said, I don't want to tell Korea. Our COS, and I will blow her trumpet too.
No, I want to tell you this. If you go ngonya de nketa n'isi obia wara aka ya gwa onya ndị ya n'isi. This woman bu many load. Obo ya nwa this time aka nji kwuo na all this our bigger platform need read na akuzi odi ihe aka ndị obo anya wee so onye obula even mana s handle.
So Chino imagine side them naga like this Saturdays why is so much talk. On address so many things on Saturdays.
Yeah.
I rubbish about COS. COS mean to the extent that Chomo Koma still rubbish that position COS. You know, I will use that Saturday, one Saturday like that. When I blow away my own trumpet, you know,
You are right. Because I'm about to well, I'm listening. Here we heading here. And I'm man about to be an age compare. Madonna open with style on here. Everybody get more. Her mind they this way. Her mind they rule. The is no people. No kuna agonye nwe ya nazo. Omo be serious na president does. O nwere ike ofutakwa ihe a ola ase na obere ya ka be ikwu nke obo na defend o ya ngwa ya dị n'otu a mgbe oru omit se o ite ma ha sego now.
Honestly, imagine how many months pass by with people carrying that nonsense in that Guarahanishi no yes COS mean. Can you imagine?
I have a brother so block on my first page. No India. Na that nonsense. Na COS. Do you know na Ben na with COS? Ngani defeat na you never become a military before. You are not the top parliamentary. So now I'm here office of COS. Now I'm no two Nigeria. No COS is in charge every security apparatus. And now when a prime minister, a presidency are not here, no she take over, no one right more than a vice president take over. You know, about the gate of the government himself. Ever said na COS is like a gate of a government. That now before you can go to this government, you must pass through the COS.
Oh, but Obia said it.
Yes.
Yes.
Openly.
Hey, you know, there is something you said here to tell you that Obatobie, oh my year, right from day one, Mazin Namdekalo interview, we see no more good you with a table that he Obatobie will
bring something to the table.
Yes, Obatobia Mama Chama this thing. Who can he can research. Who can see Obatobia can read.
I sing that despite Mazin Namdekalo intelligent. When it's come to this international law and this way.
Alone will not even go this far. Tell you the truth.
That is the truth now.
To tell you the truth. check now. Like you said, COS, you have to use that position. That political position, instead of if you use with DOS, DOS.
Yes. That's why everyone is saying here a new era. But they use a word that the world recognizes under this our new era. And even this COS,
you said it. Yes.
Even the COS, we talk about this Vienna Convention can focus on now of 1978. Of 1978, yes. All way back from 1978 came Graham about COS, Chief of Staff. And now working in America ya, na Britain ya, na every country ya. Not we are in charge of a government you. Our people are happy now calling all the social media. No romance say because of you hate her, because of you don't want her, because of our progo. Or break it or maybe because of our people did not search or why can I frame over 2 days and then you see where around
Chino, all exactly the problem, all the cause of it. And we who research about it. And the researcher, do you have the exact word to put there to get what you want? When did it? Where did to continue putting the word in the search button, in the search engine, before a good hitter?
For 2 days. For 2 days. No. After my program yesterday night, he got on after I'm now to open up a program. That I go now. You don't say, what I wear me. A Japan no long. I was searching and searching and searching and searching. Searching from 7 o'clock in the morning till 1. I want to break. We shut up by 2:30. We be a fuzier in the bars. I capitalize on searching on that one thing in natural to get the exact word there. Military. Every military commander no under the COS automatically. Now she is the one to give order. I refuse to go more deep because I want to present it fully. Now platform Humble Lion. Ebe omu Biafra ga me off ma on Saturday. I just mention obere. Can I read you?
The thing I can get look, what honestly, because I watch, I'm not able in this page now. Please, do you see this information? Chinona, 2 days, 3 days, I can only search one thing until you waited the real information on our job. Let this thing not fall on just on a deaf ear or on a ground that will not be fertile. How do we make this thing to be fertile? Is for us to support this page. They go to the gadget and the moment to bring this thing up so that it will make more sense to people watching it. So much for decades, and because I am a research. Now that we have seen somebody who can do the research, can we just support this page? Because even through super chat. Even Chino, you can call your number. You can contact Chino this night. You can just make this thing happen. A lot of people have been doing that to tell you. A lot of people have been doing that. This is a collective thing. This is a collective thing. We can do it together.
Now we just have a common foe. But today, before I had a program, I had it very dark in here. Today we are no longer dark on it. We are putting things together. So the only problem when I have a laptop is the only problem. And the choice that laptop now have Apple laptop.
With some support from Biafrans. I got some things gradually. But the cocoa now with the laptop, because we need support. for this platform so that we can do this thing collectively. Let us be a partaker.
Because him just share O2 and I can pull this document na Nairu screen and may enlarge. And we can O2 as a na agro anya. I have me because I'm going to here. A man abatra mon came by 7 o'clock. He be pamora. Here the map can see your voice. It's such a man with your voice. I have to be such it be add the voice here and the voice network the very bad your man play or watch up.
Imagine.
So came by 7 o'clock on where wrote 10:30 online came from here right now. I can they put voice under all these things such that.
So when the money is you, I can understand what you are talking about. And when I was searching here both for you can go and let you go to the young, go to the
I am doing this because as a tina, I know my talent for more than Biafra land. I know see a good name when I was in Biafra land, and I'm a fear ban and the freedom moon and where me back. So I want to go back to homeland. I want to go back. I saw me, I want you never me. I'm telling you to know.
Of course.
I want to
go thinking that we have reached our potential. No. What the real Biafra no what they are saying about the way they na level 1, the way they buy some people now kill you. Some people now kill you now thinking that they are already in their comfort zone.
Yes, that is why.
Mgbe lọ ndị anụnwa ofu gọọmenti ga-abata na eme ya apasizie bilu ga-emezi onye ọwụ na fes ya ka ọ na-aka.
The issue is I find out that Biafran people has become a wanderers because every part of the world we are wanderers right now. That is who we are wanderers.
So my brother, I will not now. Thank you so much. This is me.
Thank you. You are trying so much on this page. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
God bless you.
Yeah, thank you. So, my fellow Biafrans, what we are doing is what we have to do, believe you me. I am not doing it for anybody, I'm doing it for myself. That is number one thing. That is number one that makes me to do what I'm doing because I want to go back home. I am missing home. When they have deceived us enough. I call in social media so much. It's a time to end it all. It's a time to face the reality. It's a time to face what other countries face and survive, become a country. That is the time we are into. And Chukwu Okabiama gradually is doing it for us. Chukwu Okabiama is doing it for us by giving us a little way to go and research and get some things and give it to Biafran people. Please, when you hear this message, only to share it on your timeline. Share it on your page. Share it everywhere you can. Because once you share the program, other people will hear it and they will listen. Another person will hear and they will come. Through your platform, you have done what? You have been somebody, change somebody's narrative. You have changed somebody's narrative through your own platform, but you wouldn't know. There is somebody who will subscribe here because of what you have from your platform, and he will like to subscribe to come and hear it direct. So please, my fellow Biafrans, please, I beg you to like and share the program. I beg you also to support us. I said through our super chat, whatever you can do it. Whatever you can do, support us. Please do that because we want to make it a better platform for all of us, where we can come in even on a live stream and comments, submit our own opinion. All these things are very important to what we are doing. That is why I told you that you must. That is why I told you that you have to. So no power, no other way we can do this except for us to continue doing what we are doing. For us to do what? for us to understand the importance of your government and all the positions that they are into. Eh? Chief of a staff who made a declaration of a new country and between military general after declaration country on international law who has authority of control. Who has this authority to control this new country under Montevideo Convention? Whether you call it a, you see, the most sweetest thing of this is that anywhere you drive it to, they will told you, even if the government is a de facto government, that the chief of staff, that he is the one who has the highest authority. That under international law of effective control, that chief of staff is the one, not any other person. You heard it here today that a chief of staff of US is not a military person. Chief of staff of United Kingdom is not a military personnel. It's a bloody, we call it a bloody civilian. But immediately that position under political, he emerged in that position, he become overall once he put on that uniform. Every apparatus of government, of military, must salute and bow down to he or her. They must bow down because it is not an easy task. The position this position is one of the most. That is the after president, prime minister. That position is the highest position again. Do you know that if a country plan a coup, that is fall on the head of the chief of staff to take over, whether he's a military or he's not, and they said it must not be a military person. That is why they refer you to America, refer you to United Kingdom. And when it's come to the issue of a new country, it fall on the head of our DPM, my people. That is where it falls. Nobody can stop it. Nobody. If you are challenging it, you are challenging international law who position that position, or other countries who had been put in that position, that place before us. That is those that are challenging, not to go to Arabese. Calling go to Arabese is wasting your time. It doesn't matter. Because in a common eyes of you, that is how you see it. That is how you look at it. Listen to this. A British government in exile without a declaration document, can they get recognition for a new country under international law? I want to rephrase this to give you something to go home this night again after you have listened to this. Tomorrow we will continue from where we will stop. We will go deep into a military aspect of it. Then you may understand. Then you will also know it very well that the office of COS is a very, very important office that the world will, because of that, only that name alone, they will take us serious. Those who don't want to give us international recognition will give us recognition by. Only that name alone brings international recognition. Only that name, COS, who is in charge, can do what? Can give us international recognition. Talk less of the kind of COS we have, who understand her position, who understand the importance of a new country declaration. Do not panic. Stand strong on the side of the government. Support the government. Give them fund for us to achieve everything money can achieve.
This is an excellent and nuanced question that highlights the difference between political will and the practical mechanisms of international relations. The roles of a person making a declaration and a financial secretary are distinct but interconnected in the process of creating a new state and gaining recognition. The role of the person making the declaration. The person making a declaration of a new country, often a leader or a group of representatives, is fulfilling the political and ideological function of state creation. This act, the Declaration of Independence, is the formal assertion of a people's right to self-determination. It is the crucial first step that announces the birth of a new political entity and its will to exist as a sovereign state.
I do hear that. The person making a declaration of a new country or a leader of a group of representatives is fulfilling the political and the functions of a state creation. This act, the Declaration of Independence, is a formal section of people's rights to self-determination. It's the first step that announced the birth of a new political entity, and it will to existing sovereign states. The step for us to be a country is from where? A declaration. And they said it's a political function of a state creation. This is how you create a state. What Dr. Ngozi did. That's what gives us a absolutely right for self-defense. Now that we have made a clear declaration of United States of Biafra, and they said it is a first criteria step. A first criteria step to announce the debate. Now I'm going to a new country. That is how it is, and from that day, each organization start counting. From that day, the recognition of that country, of a new country, starts counting.
Political legitimacy. The Declaration provides a foundational document that articulates the reasons for separation and the ideals of the new country. It serves to unify a population and rally international support by presenting a clear, morally justifiable cause. Legal claim. The Declaration establishes a legal claim to statehood under international law. While it doesn't automatically create a state, it is the formal act that a government in exile or a liberation movement can point to when arguing that it has fulfilled the first and most fundamental criterion of statehood, the will to be an independent entity.
Do you hear it? A political legitimacy. The declaration provides a fundable document that articulates the reason for separation, the idea of a new country. This is why you need, you see, this document of our declaration is that is where everything started. And that is evidence of that we become a new nation. That is, as they said, it's justifiable cost. You know when something is justifiable cost. And the name is also them. What was going to see where mayor? Now, ndị mere ya emere iberibe. Jina ha mara ihe. Achọrọ ka ị mara gị nwa onwe gị believe in this government that everything is under political legitimacy. Now, politics can eme right now. Abia when I'm going to be a politician, always go a member of people's Congress. Always go this and that. Yes. If she's not a politician, she cannot handle this position. That is the truth of it. International law supports by presenting a clear, moral, justifiable case. With this, we are presenting to the world that the criteria to be a country, that we have met those criteria. And because of how we come, because of the Biafra declaration, we overmade those criteria. If you have been following me, you will understand a permanent population, number one, a defined territory, number two, A government that is effective. Number 3. Number 4, capacity to the government to enter into relationship, sign a document, sign agreement and treaties. That is the work of a government. This is the first criteria that leads after declaration that makes you to become a sovereign state. That COS, when a leader is not there, is in charge and become the chief of armed staff, the chief of army commander in all round of United States of Biafra. I hope you are getting it right. Legal claim. Declaration established a legal claim to stakehold under international law. Why does it not automatically create a state? No, now we apply what? We apply our documents into a political movement, into diplomatic movement for the world, for the countries who are free countries under UN to give us international recognition that makes Ojukwu to lose the war. What makes Ojukwu to lose is because of there is no international recognition. Moreover, a country under UN that give Ojukwu recognition, even though it's one country. Today, Afghanistan has get recognition from Russia. Afghanistan was make a declaration in 2021. Today, in this 2025, between February, Russia give the recognition. They have now become a sovereign state, a nation that on their own. It's not only recognition made us a country. There's many countries today in the world. They are a country. They have their money. They have their currency. They have their police. They have their army. They have their navy. They have their air force. But nobody recognizes them. But they, because of what it is, because of they have called themselves a country, they have come to existence. These are things that we all must know. It's not by saying by mouth. It's not by only documents. But why the document is important? The document leads us for international recognition to be able to apply for UN membership application. That is why it's very important. And who will do that? The COS will lead those that are going to do it. Even if you choose a lobby to do it on to see a congressman, she will be the one giving them the document and what they will present and what they will say in front of those who are going to help us for our recognition. This is how it is.
The role of the financial secretary. A financial secretary, or more generally, a finance minister, is typically a part of an established, functioning government. Their role in the context of a new country is not to declare its existence, but to enable its practical operation and secure its viability on the international stage. The power of a financial secretary to get international recognition is not a direct, unilateral power, but rather a capacity to create the conditions necessary for recognition. Establishing economic capacity, a key criterion for statehood under the Deo Convention, is the capacity to enter into relations with other states. While this is often interpreted as a diplomatic capacity, it also has a crucial economic dimension. A financial secretary's role would be to manage finances, establish and manage a new government's financial administration, including a budget, a central bank, and a system for taxation. Secure funding, seek and secure international loans and financial aid, which demonstrates the new country's economic viability and its capacity to function independently. Develop credibility. By creating a transparent and credible financial system, a financial secretary helps build trust with potential recognizing states and international financial institutions like the IMF or World Bank. Soft power. Diplomacy. A finance official can engage in soft power diplomacy by meeting with their counterparts in foreign governments and international financial bodies. These meetings can lay the groundwork for formal recognition by demonstrating that the new entity is professionally organized and has the economic means to be a stable partner in the international community. Conclusion: the synergy of the two roles. The person making the declaration and the financial secretary represent two halves of the same coin. The declaration is the political act that creates the entity and asserts its right to exist. It provides the initial legitimacy and moral foundation. The Financial Secretary is part of the practical, administrative body that demonstrates the new country's capacity to function as a stable and reliable state. This is what truly convinces other countries to grant recognition. A declaration without a functioning financial system is just a symbolic statement. A financial secretary without a declaration has no political entity to represent. In the process of seeking international recognition, one cannot succeed without the other. The declaration provides the why and what, while the financial secretary, in a sense, provides the how.
Do you hear it clearly? Now, when this aspect you hearing on this particular conclusion of our program today is between our COS and our financial secretary, who is rightly now on the side of the government. And you can see her representing that position also very well. You can hear it clearly here. She doesn't have power for declaration. She doesn't have power to be a leader, but only to make sure that with the money that governments are looking for, or the money that he's seeking from IMF, International Bank, for loan, that they use the money to work to get international recognition, to submit those things under the COS, who is the leader of the country right now. These are what we have to know. It's not by force. We are not forcing anybody, but the truth remains the truth. The law remains law. The guideline remains guideline. And that is what the government is flowing right now. That is why everything is moving smoothly. They are not making noise. Those who know what they are doing are not doing notice me. It's only somebody who are not doing the right thing are doing notice me. That is how I describe it on my own way. So I want you to know that Biafra government led by Ngozi Onabueze with the financial secretary understand their position, everybody on their own position and their right at a comfortable time. Support your government. Do not panic. The government is doing absolutely well. They are in charge of Biafra land. They are in charge of the affairs of Biafran people. And they are only one who has legal right to get us international recognition, not any group anymore. Not any group anymore. So everything you see our COS doing, international laws are guidelines, and what happened, she understand her position might follow Biafran people. Let nobody deceive you anymore. We are late this evening. That is why we're going to have it in this way only. Then by tomorrow, when we have our full time, we are going to go into more details that you will shout on your own. There is more to this. Because of our time, listen to this.
Under international law, the Chief of Staff, COS, of a government in exile would have a greater claim to leadership than a financial secretary. While both roles are vital, they operate at different levels of authority and legitimacy. COS, the Chief of Staff, is generally a high-ranking political or military official. In the context of a government in exile, they would be an integral part of the leadership structure, often acting as a key advisor or the second in command to the head of state.
Of a second in command of the head of what? State. The Chief of Staff, General, a higher rank political or military officer. In the context of a government in exile, there would be an interim part of leadership structure, often acting as a key advisor or the second in command of the head of the new state. This is the position of our COS. This is what? A position of the COS. The Chief of Staff is a general, high-rank political or military officer. In the context of a government in exile, There would be an interim part of the leadership structure, often acting as a key advisor or the second in command to the head of the state. If a leader were arrested and appointed a successor to the COS would be a local choice to do that prompt to power and involvement in the movement overall strategy. Listen.
If a leader were arrested and appointed a successor, the cause would be a logical choice due to their proximity to power and involvement in the movement's overall strategy. Their role is to execute and coordinate political and military actions, which is central to the struggle for statehood. Financial Secretary. A financial secretary's power is primarily administrative and economic. Their role is to manage the group's financial resources, oversee budgets, and secure funding. While this is crucial for the survival of any organization, it's not a position of ultimate political leadership.
It is a financial secretary is not ultimate political leadership. Where is Ogenkere getting what is giving him buga on his head? Because a small boy of 24 years, Elias, is deceiving him. That is just it. That is what? That is just it. A financial secretary authority derived from the specific profile. They don't have the overrule authority to make a political decision or direct the movement actions, which are the preview of the leader of a chief of staff. Only person who has that power.
A financial secretary's authority is derived from their specific portfolio. They don't have the overall authority to make political decisions or direct the movement's actions, which are the purview of the leader or a chief of staff. International law and recognition. International law, particularly the declarative theory of statehood, requires a government to have a degree of effectiveness and authority to be considered legitimate. A government in exile lacks control over its territory, but it must still demonstrate it has a functioning leadership structure. The person who makes the declaration from a government in exile acts as a representative of the state's will to exist. The international community would look for a leader with the authority to make such a claim. A chief of staff, as part of the core leadership, would be seen as having that authority.
I hope my people will listen to this. The person who make the declaration of from a government in exile, acting as a representative of the state while to exist, the international community will look for a leader with the authority to make such a claim. A chief of staff, as part of the core leadership, will be seen as having that authority. The only person this leadership of Biafra government in exile fall on his head is Okongozi. Sorry, Okongozi Arabeze, no other person. You are hearing it here. You are hearing it here from this one is from the from the convention, Montevideo Convention. The authority lies on the head of the chief of staff after a leader was arrested, and he appoints somebody to represent him in the movement. That the secretary does not have the power. The financial secretary, no only have a ego, jabata mpipi, enye government ego under COS ka ewejibe okwu a na-eje maka nnwere onwe.
A financial secretary, while important, would not be viewed as the primary political figure to lead a movement or make a declaration of independence. Their role, while vital to the group's economic survival, does not carry the political legitimacy required for international recognition of a new state.
I hope my people, you are listening to this. A financial secretary, why important, would not be viewed as the primary political figure to lead a movement or to make a decision of independence. The rule, why vital to the group economic survival, does not carry the political legitimacy required for international recognition of a new state. Oge Nkere does not have it. On international law is not his position. Is not his position. A financial secretary, yes, is important, but when it's come to making a declaration of a new country that for independence, he is not in that shoes to do that, because his position is not a political one. He doesn't have the political legitimacy to do it. This is what it is, my people. We leave our line for only 5 minutes. If you have a phone call, we answer. If you don't have, we close. We ask you that this platform needs your support. We need one thing on the laptop. Any little token you can give, whether it's from Super Chat or anywhere, you can do it. It's very, very important for you to do that. For us to put this document on the screen, instead of hold it on the hand and the benefits and reading it, so all of us can be able to see once we are live. I want you to tell you this. After you have had all these things, you can see that your government is right. You can see the power of your government. You can see what the government stands for. You can see the need of the government. So you may understand clearly that the government is doing the right thing, that the leadership is on top of head of Dr. Ngozi Orabueze. Obatobie, did he know that this way will come before he gives her the position? The answer is no. But look at how everything happens, and she is equal to the task. I want to play it without interrupting it. So if you want to record this part to play anywhere you jam the enemies. So they may be able to run. Listen.
Under international law, the Chief of Staff, COS, of a government in exile would have a greater claim to leadership than a financial secretary. While both roles are vital, they operate at different levels of authority and legitimacy. COS, the Chief of Staff, is generally a high-ranking political or military official. In the context of a government in exile, they would be an integral part of the leadership structure, often acting as a key advisor or the second in command to the head of state. If a leader were arrested and appointed a successor, the COS would be a logical choice due to their proximity to power and involvement in the movement's overall strategy. Their role is to execute and coordinate political and military actions, which are central to the struggle for statehood. Financial Secretary. A financial secretary's power is primarily administrative and economic. Their role is to manage the group's financial resources, oversee budgets, and secure funding. While this is crucial for the survival of any organization, it's not a position of ultimate political leadership. A financial secretary's authority is derived from their specific portfolio. They don't have the overall authority to make political decisions or direct the movement's actions, which are the purview of the leader or a chief of staff. International law and recognition. International law, particularly the declarative theory of statehood, requires a government to have a degree of effectiveness and authority to be considered legitimate. A government in exile lacks control over its territory, but it must still demonstrate it has a functioning leadership structure. The person who makes the declaration from a government in exile acts as a representative of the state's will to exist. The international community would look for a leader with the authority to make such a claim. A chief of staff, as part of the core leadership, would be seen as having that authority. A financial secretary, while important, would not be viewed as the primary political figure to lead a movement or make a declaration of independence. Their role, while vital to the group's economic survival, does not carry the political legitimacy required for international recognition of a new state.
I hope, my people, I hope you had this. This is your take home this night. Oge Nkere does not have any legal right in that shenanigan he's doing in Washington, D.C. He just to deceive the gullible and collect money from them. That is the only reason why Oge Nkere is doing it. That is the only reason why he is doing that nonsense. He's doing nonsense. A small boy is using him, enriching himself, and he's here claiming what will put him into trouble on international law. He has no rights. You have had it here. No fall airborne. Now, Mazin Nandekano, over to be no problem. No fall on the head of the COS. na onye ọfọlụ nọọ ya ka o ruru anọ ya nwa ama na-eji and nọọ ya nwa ka mba ụwa ga-abịa chọọ ebe ọ nọ ma ọ gbajuo ọdọrọ na abịa na recognition ọkwa ya ka a ga-achọ ha ga-enye ya because mba ụwa ghọtara ihe bụ ọnọdụ COS and ihe ọrụ ya bụ onye ma o ji wee bụrụ na ọ dị legal na evident legitimacy requirement na that she met all the criteria of legitimacy of a new country. Do not be panicked. Do not allow anyone to deceive you anymore. Be a strong person on your own. Listen to the truth at all times. Go to platforms where you can educate ourselves. Please, my people, please, this is a small platform newly, but I ask you please to like and share so others will see from your post so they can be able to come to know through that way you are making someone to repent. So please, I urge you to support our platform through any means you can. From me, from here, have a wonderful morning, a wonderful night, a wonderful afternoon, a wonderful day. Depend your time and your location. Have a nice day, my people. Thank you so much.